All right, you rubber-faced tar carton extras, it's time to dust off your starter jackets, rip off those tearaways, and blow into your game cartridges.
Marty T.
I'm Pat Sellers.
I'm Shane Stratford.
And I'm Sean Kelly, and we wish it was the 90s. Welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of Wish It Was the 90s, where we watch terrible 90s films so you don't have to. We're joined today by a very, very special guest, Shane Chatford, who not only did he request this episode, but he requested enough times that we said we'd only do it if he joined us. And we're here today to talk about Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the 1997 sequel to Mortal Kombat. We've got a bit to get through, so before we talk about the film in general, I'd like to go to you, Stratties, and just hear a little bit of your general Mortal Kombat memories.
Oh, little walk down memory lane. I'll probably say the first Mortal Kombat I played was the very first one on a Sega, and I think my fondest memory of it is finding out how to do Jax's finishing move, where he picks them up and smashes them on the ground until they explode. That is my fondest memory of Mortal Kombat, and just fluked that. It was lovely.
That's a tough fluke. I mean, my fatalities were all based on those magazines you could buy from Time Zone that had cheat codes in them or whatever.
And mine was on the Sega Master System, so it had the D-pad and the two buttons, A and B. That's what you had. So I think I remember it. You started a couple way forward, A, B, A, B, A, B, and he just kept doing it until they exploded.
It's actually ringing a bell. I mean, that's good memory from you. We the three of us, obviously did an episode on Mortal Kombat 95, and like most of the actors from that movie, Sam refused to turn up for the sequel. So I guess before we talk about Annihilation, fond memories of Mortal Kombat 95?
Well, when it came out, I hounded my sister, who was actually of age back then, to take me. I think it was like R14 or R16 or something.
I think they ran an R13 system in those
Might
days.
have been that, and you were able to go back then with someone who was over that age if you were under it. And I remember sitting in the cinema at that time, and it was at the very start when Shang Tsung killed Liu Kang's brother, Kang.
We've got to be really careful, because if we talk about that, we're going to end up just talking about that movie again, because that's so good.
Yeah, and I freaked out, started crying, I'm pretty sure, when he went to like that death sort of face as it tends to fade out.
That grey pellet thing that happens?
Yeah, whatever he turned into. So yeah, that was not the greatest. My sister was pretty pissed off. She was like, if you do this again, we're out of here. So I was like, no problem, I'm good now, as long as that shit doesn't happen again.
Excellent. That's better than any memory that any of us produced.
Should have had me on that original one, mate. But
yeah, that's fair. Maybe we'll do an episode on the actual games. I think I've got Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 that we could have a jam on.
Ooh.
Disclosure, real hard. Got used to those PlayStation controllers, and it's hard to go back. We'll just quickly, I guess, everyone, we'll start with you, Marty. Memories of Annihilation, maybe compared to this viewing?
Stark contrast. Quite easily, in fact. I don't think I watched this one at the movies. I'm not even sure if it was available to. I think the first time I watched it might have been a year or so later on the old TV2 late in the evening type of movie, maybe even on a weeknight, the old 10 p.m. perhaps on around about getting my first TV in my room.
Still in time till Sky One.
I won.
Gonna put Raw on at 10 p.m. Yeah, big contrast to this time, but yeah, I'll let Paddy share his memories of Annihilation.
First of all, wasn't the original one rated M? Because I was thinking about Stratties getting his sister to take the movies, which I did for definitely R16s, but I always thought this was an M. Where in the Hoytslaw Hut, they used to just, I feel like they ran an M movie pretending they didn't know the rules and they just let you go in. Similar to like when my parents pretended they didn't know how the licensing system worked for driving. And once I got my learners, my old man was just like, come pick me up from the pub. Yeah, I reckon it was an M. But anyway.
It might have been an M, but I reckon Stratties is right because I don't think I saw Mortal Kombat 95 at the cinema, and I think it's because I wasn't old enough. But we might have just been playing by the rules.
Yeah, because what's an M? Was it weirdly 15 or something?
Yeah, it's like M15, but
Yeah.
there's no like actual guidelines around that.
Yeah, because they never used to ID you.
Grey area.
Yeah, it was a real grey area. But my memories of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I think what happened when I first saw it was, it would have been 2023, and I had to do a podcast about it. And it was, finished it about 4 hours ago. I don't think I'd seen this before. I wasn't 100% sure if I'd seen this in the past, and watching this, there was nothing rang a bell at all from back in the day. And I don't know a hell of a lot about the Mortal Kombat lore as well, so I reckon I'm going to be a real passenger on this podcast.
You didn't remember Sindel saying, "Too bad, you will die."
What a classic.
No, and I definitely didn't remember Raiden's weird haircut, which I missed. Like that as well. He just kind of came back with that. Like, was there a reason he got a haircut? He just had a bit of time to spare.
Yeah, he lost his immortality.
Oh yeah, and he's like, now I can't pull off this ponytail.
This movie had gone on another hour or so, he would have been bald.
Simpson effect.
I used to be immortal.
Oh yeah.
I definitely saw this one at the movies on the basis of like absolutely loving the original, and for good or for ill, blind love in the franchise. I thought it was incredible. I think at the time I was a bit miffed about the actor changes, and I definitely didn't like certain things not from a quality point of view, more from a personal point of view. But generally speaking, I was like, yeah, Mortal Kombat, let's go. What about you, Stratties?
I agree with that statement there, Sean Kelly. I remember, I don't think I watched it at the movies, Annihilation. I think I did a Marty T and it came out on VHS, or can't actually remember. But yeah, the character changes weren't sitting well with me. I was like, is that the real Johnny Cage? No, it's not. It's not the real Sonya Blade either. But however, it wowed me back then because of the graphics. You know, Sub-Zero making that ice bridge, unreal.
Yeah.
And then him and Scorpion breaking it, unreal. You know, but yeah, now looking back on it, yeah, probably amazing for '97, but. Yeah, a bit of a tough watch today.
It's interesting. I would have been 97. So this must have come out early-ish in the year because it was already available on VHS. But for my 10th birthday, it must have been 9th birthday, something like that. I did a sleepover. We'll play Mortal Kombat 3 all night, and then when we get a bit tired, we'll watch Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and then everyone's sleeping in the lounge situations.
Wish I was a mate back then. That would have been sick.
Yeah.
So who were the actor changes? Was it just Johnny Cage and Sonya?
The only actors who return are
Uh-huh.
Liu Kang and Kitana.
Okay, right.
Even the ones who play the ninjas are different, not that it really matters.
And that ice bridge that Stratties was talking about, that was like one of the arenas you could fight in, in the game. Is that right?
Maybe
On the ice bridge?
I've
Does that
got
ring a bell?
I wrote this in my notes. The underground tube network that is at the center of the Earth is not canon to the game.
Oh, that was good. Do you reckon that was just because this would have been fairly hot off the heels of American Gladiators, wouldn't it? When they always used to be in those.
Yes.
I was started thinking about that.
Can we please keep American Gladiators at the top of mind for Tracy trivia, because that's coming up again.
Oh, okay, very good.
That network of tubes was had a huge bone to pick with that.
Oh, really?
How on earth was that a more viable system than just the existing network of travel options that are available in general life? Like a whole bunch of digging holes throughout the earth, taking advantage of the internal winds to go around.
No one knows how it works.
It was something to do with the heat of the Earth or something.
And then the person who explains it's Kitana, who's not even from Earth.
They shouldn't have tried to explain it.
You only fit two people in, and you have to stand face to face, pressing full body. And you're flipping over and over, but you're not.
I reckon when they wrote the script, and they were like, and Raiden will do one with Sonya, they were thinking about creepy Christopher Lambert and Veronica Vaughn.
I just want to know how you know where you're going. How do you know what tunnel
they get to that jump, and Katana's like lean left or whatever, and you're like, what?
We'll slip right in there. Yeah.
If you miss, are you going to go into that lava?
What kind of science is that?
That's pretty obvious. Give it a bit of a lean as you jump. You hang a Louis. Pretty straightforward, I thought.
Do you think Liu Kang was a bit emasculated when he was the one to hold on to her?
Mm.
He cuddled in.
Yeah.
Take the wheel, love.
The best part is when they I assume to save on special effects, they're like, you'll be going so fast, you'll feel like you're not moving at all. And then when they are going through it, they're literally just not moving. They're just 100% stationary so they can lean.
Smart.
Actually reminded me of my experiences on the Paris metro system. I wonder how many engineers died digging out those tunnels at the Earth's core.
Was that when we were about 3 hours late to go and see, or 3 minutes late to see Jim Morrison's grave? Sat on those trains for fucking hours and we missed it by minutes. Anyway.
Yeah. Raises another question, but interesting yeah. Right. So we've already sort of started talking about what we like and dislike. I will say this. I will start with the likes, because I feel like there's going to be a few dislikes. With the exception of the horrendous opening scene, which I'd like to come back to in a moment, I thought most of the fight choreography is actually better than the first movie.
That's really? I have to disagree with you there, but sorry, carry on.
Honestly, if you just YouTube just the fights and you go back to the first one and you're thinking only about the fights and not how mint the characters are, Veronica Vaughn's fights are all terrible. To defend her, she was a last minute entry into the film because Cameron Diaz got injured training. But I think the actual, for lack of a better word, kung fu is actually better in this movie.
I tend to disagree there, Bob. It was
felt like I was watching Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That first fight between Raiden and Shao Kahn is very Power Rangers, where they just punch each other 30 meters and
big flips through the air.
Yeah, the flips and things are real bad. The unnecessary.
I like them. I'm actually with you, Bob. I thought the fight choreography was pretty good. The fight scenes were good. The only problem was the spectators during them. Like the ice bridge fight where what's his name? Is it Liu Kang and I can't remember who he was with at the time. Why are they just like, we just got to let this be 1-on-1? And they sort of go to move at one point and they just stay there, and then the ice bridge collapses and they're like, oh, now we can't help. It's like, can't you just kung fu over there and help them? And definitely the one at the start, I assume they were filmed inside with limited room, because as like the spectators around watching that fight, they pan to them like they're going to run over, and it looks like they've just started running and stopped running in front of the camera. Like they had like literally 3 meters to run before the camera.
It was probably limited space.
I'll give you an example. I reckon this is what it looked like.
It just ran at the camera, listeners.
Yeah, just for
about 3 steps and just stop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
All good stuff.
Anyone else want to share some things they liked?
Yep, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm keen as. I quite like Cyrex's fight with Sonya and Jax.
Right, that's in my notes as a real good fight.
Yeah. See, like that's
Is that
cool
the yellow robot?
Yeah.
It's a yellow robot.
Okay.
And it's quite a good fight, except the Sonya Blade part. But Jax pulls out quite a lot of one-liners in there as well, and I quite enjoyed that. He was the bro of the movie.
Jax is man.
Yeah.
There aren't many good performances, and Jax is one of them.
Yeah. So that part was is always the part I look forward to when they have their fight scene. And you've got like the kiss of death from Sonya, like you can't beat it. You can't.
Yeah, that is man. That's man. I quite like that scene. While we're on that topic, I'm interested in people's thoughts on the cyborgs. They certainly look like they did in Mortal Kombat 3, to their credit.
Yes.
They obviously are men in plastic suits, but I was keen for other people's takes on the cyborgs, because we've got Cyrax and we've got Smoke.
You know Sector, right?
No Sector.
No, which is kind of shitty. But I thought Smoke had the grappling thing that come out of him. It's like they mixed Sector and Smoke together. Or did Smoke always have the missile that came out of him? Come on, you're the guru on this, aren't you?
Yeah, but I've never been a big cyborg fan. I liked them in Mortal Kombat 9, where you got to see them in their human forms before the Lin Kuei turned them into cyborgs.
I don't know if Smoke had it in the early games. He had it in the later one. But I don't know if it, because Smoke came out in games before the cyborgs came into them. In those early days in Sega. And I don't know if the missile he shoots out of his guts.
Well, because in Smoke's first appearance, which I believe is Mortal Kombat 2, he's a secret character, and he's a ninja palette swap, and I'm pretty sure he's just got the same powers as the other ninjas. He doesn't have any of his own. Yeah. And then in Mortal Kombat 3, he's a secret character again. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I think he is. But instead of being a ninja, he's a secret cyborg character.
I quite liked Cyrex. They did him quite well because he had a bit of a snout on the movie. And I'm pretty sure
notice the snout.
Yeah, he was portrayed like that in the games, I'm pretty sure.
They also had the weird cyborg dreads coming out the back, which I was really a big fan of. I was glad they put that in.
Yep.
Kind of a little bit predatory.
That's fair.
I especially the yellow one. What was his name?
Cyrex.
The guy in that must have been a slender man.
Yeah.
But very capable. He's doing all sorts.
Well, the man in Cyrax is also Scorpion, who's also Noob Saibot, who's also one of the Tarkatan warriors. So that guy did a lot of work.
Oh, you mean the actor is the same guy doing all those?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got a little confused there. That's pretty awesome. Good for him. Well done.
Great payday. Got one line, I think.
I'm proud of you.
Hey, he was the only cyborg to actually talk in that whole thing.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
he put on the
maybe.
voice perfectly, I thought.
Yeah, and I know Scorpion had a line, but I don't think that was him when he said, "Suckers." So yeah, things like Jax is good. I don't know if Robin Shu's a particularly good actor, but I do like Liu Kang. I thought the lady who replaced Veronica Vaughn as Sonya actually did pretty well.
Yep.
Katana is very wooden, but okay. Like
Oh.
you can pass it off as being the princess or whatever, and trying to be mysterious, but she's average. And then I think that is where the good performances end.
It was good to see the fans come out for Katana though.
Yeah, that was man.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I thought she just had a couple of wonky swords for a bit. And I was like, what are those? And then she did that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay, to block the incoming attack. Oh.
What did you guys think of the animalities?
Animals.
I loved Nightwolf's one because it actually looked like an animal. So the other two horrendous. What Shao Kahn? Please explain.
Some sort of. There's a name for a three-headed mythological dragon, but I don't know what it is. So if our nerdiest listeners could let us know in the slacks.
Yeah, the dragon didn't look like a dragon at all. It looked like a stumpy version of a dragon with little wings.
Yeah. What's really disappointing about that is, I mean, I don't know if at the time that fight was impressive or not, but that would have cost a lot of money, and I would way rather have seen that money go into anything else. Maybe a better costume for Sindel.
Or a better costume for Sub-Zero. Did you actually notice how the mask didn't fit his face properly?
Yeah, it was like sitting sideways.
Yeah.
Get kicked out of the
pub. He had just bought a actual costume for Sub-Zero, and those never quite fit you properly.
It's like one of those old guys during COVID who always wore his mask under his nose. I can't breathe.
He's got a chin diaper. That's good.
Back to Sindel's outfit. I know that it looks a lot like her costume in the game, but why would the Queen of Edenia wear a purple lycra thing that looks worse than what cosplay could come up with?
Yeah, it wasn't very good at all.
Yeah, I mean, and Sindel just generally is absolutely maybe the worst performance in the movie. I'd be surprised if she got much work after that.
She was good at screaming, though, wasn't she? She really ripped that mountain apart.
And that is her marquee role, screaming.
Oh, and the heel whip.
I wasn't that impressed with the hair whip. I wanted more hair.
Yeah.
Maybe a hair grab and toss as well.
Oh, yeah, that. But how much would that have cost?
Yeah, well, I've got the budget for the film down in the trivia too, so we can talk about that. I guess just a couple other things for me that annoyed me or disappointed me was just, and this is actually they were guilty of this in the first movie, just the absolute underutilization of the ninjas.
Yes. Once again.
When Sub-Zero turns up and Liu Kang's like, I killed you, and like, you killed my brother, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, mint. Like, maskless, scarred Sub-Zero's joining the team. And then you never see him again.
Yeah. And we was Nightwolf at the end fight. Why are they not there?
What did you guys think of Dude Bro Nightwolf?
I thought it was pretty badass.
Yeah. Fresh off a stint surfing on the Californian coast.
Whipping around his axe, knocking people out.
Yeah. And like he gives Liu Kang, like he was cool, but they're like, you've got to pass 3 tests. And Liu Kang's like, I don't have time for tests. And I'm like, I also don't agree that these tests are really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
What
quite
was the
good.
third test?
But
Is
that was when he
anyone
said you can do it the long way or the quick way. Got to don't have time. Got to do it the quick way. So I hope you'd say that, and it just knocks him out. It's quite good.
Yeah.
And then it still took ages.
It
Yeah.
did still take ages. How long was the long way going to take? Was he like going to have to go meditate for 5 years up a mountain or something?
And he had 6 days. Couldn't do it.
So I guess just have I got anything else I wanted to mention generally about the movie? I just like there's a lot of characters, right? And that's cool because that's what you want to see. You want to see the characters, and I know it's hard to flesh out characters in a game and from a game and a movie, but like just to have characters, or you're now just soldiers for Shao Kahn, or you've just got a cameo because of the hell of it, like just not really sticking to anything that makes sense, just putting them in there for the hell of it, just seemed like disappointing. And I get it, like and Rain,
and because he's the one that had that little cameo, said this will never happen again, gets smoked into that fire pit, eh?
We didn't even get to see his mint water powers.
Yeah, shit ass.
The only other thing I wanted to mention is, and I don't know how I feel about this, so I'm interested in you guys' thoughts, but it was one of the 90th soundtracks I'd ever heard. Just like relentless house, techno, not even just the theme, but just generally speaking, every time there's action, it was just like...
Yeah, it was good.
Good
You got to
jam.
have that high intensity music when it's Mortal Kombat. I feel, from memory, the new one did that pretty well, I think.
The new one played a little bit more into the Asian roots of the game.
Mm.
I didn't. But yeah, I enjoyed the 90s house intensity, which is what you expect from a Mortal Kombat movie after its absolute banger of a theme song it produced.
I bought the soundtrack to the first Mortal Kombat movie and just put it through its paces for years on end until I
You're a
realised that Limp Bizkit was the way.
A lot of rewinding of that cassette tape, I can imagine.
It was CD. Look,
Oh.
I think it cost me like $30. Not expensive, but mate, if we put some of those tracks on now, I bet you I could still remember them.
Did you get it from Sound or from Tower?
Sound. Surely sounds.
Might have been Tower.
Oh.
Next to Whitcoulls.
Yes.
Queensgate Tower?
Queensgate.
Oh, the one next, was it where I hadn't moved across the road yet?
Oh, yeah, no, I think it was still in Queensgate.
Yeah, that's real early. Yeah, nice.
That's just very close to the entrance to Food Town where I used to buy my trading cards from that little machine.
Yeah, very good.
Your Pokemon ones or your
X-Men
X-Men? Oh, you're into the X-Men.
and ARL.
I think they used to do it. Yeah. They had the rugby league ones where I think we've still got a rubbish bag full of those ARL rugby league cards at Mum and
Might
Dad's.
be worth something. Better have a look.
Not in the condition they're in.
Enough said about their condition, I think. This is the last thing I wanted to bring up, and I only realised this when I was I brought up the cast list because I wanted to double check which ninjas were actually in it, that it was Rain and Ermac. And that's when I discovered that Noob Saibot was in it, and he's obviously the one that runs out of Ermac at the end, I'm assuming.
And backwards and forward, eh?
When you say the ninjas, you're talking about like the Sub-Zero and...
Yeah, the guys that look cool but don't do anything.
Was there a red one?
Yeah, that's Ermac.
I don't remember a red one. They're almost going a bit Power Ranger, like there's
He was real
all
hunched
the
over.
colours.
In the more modern games, they've done a lot to like not make them just exactly the same. They're all got like slightly different costumes, and they've all got really interesting backstories. To be honest, like Ermac's not even a person; he's just a being created of millions of dead souls. It's cool. But what I really wanted to bring up was when I was looking at these things, and we probably should have talked about this as well. The fact that Raiden and Shao Kahn are brothers is fucking stupid. But also, their father is apparently Shinnok.
Yes, I was very confused by that when I watched it again. I was like, who is that? And even I had to look up and see it was Shinnok. But That was strange.
Yeah, it just seems like another waste. Like Shinnok's quite a mint villain in the games, and they've just gone with he's the weird dad. He looks like a villain from like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or something like that.
Or a poor man's Chuck Norris.
Yep.
Well, we'll jump into the next section, which is, I mean, I've got a section here for quotes, and, you know, I don't know if there's any good ones, but there's memorable ones. Has anyone got some quotes they wanted to share?
Just when they screen Mortal Kombat, it's normally pretty good.
I thought Jax's dialogue, just playing the overgeneralized black dude in the film, his reactions to a lot of things, he was great. Very cliche, but pulled it off pretty well.
Yep.
Have you got any up your sleeve?
That scene where just after Sonya Blade rescues him, and then they're in the middle of the rocky desert thing, and all Jax is trying to do is like basically get a "what are we up to" out of Sonya Blade, and she's like, "There's not enough time," but they've still got like a good kilometer of walking across like a rocky thing where she could have explained it in 10 to 15 seconds, just given the bro a little bit of a what's up. And he's just ended up throwing his toys and going off trudging off, walking in a different direction, muttering under his breath. Great stuff.
Yeah, I like it when he hits the deck after his first blow from Cyrax, and he's just like, "Any chance we can talk this one out?"
I've got one when he's taking on Montaro. He's like, "I'll take the head." That was good.
Yeah, real good. I mean, it's worth saying, I think we've already said it, but it's maybe the worst line in the movie and both lines are delivered poorly, where Katana's, "Mother, you're alive? Too bad. You will die." He sets the tone.
Very good.
Yeah, horrendous.
Despite Shao Kahn being absolutely, like, just like Shang Tsung in the first one is such a mint villain, and he's got a million great quotes. He's just phenomenal, and Shao Kahn sucks, but he does have some good quotes. I do love at the start where Raiden's like, "Kahn, you hide behind a human? Why not, Lord Raiden? You've hidden behind them your entire pathetic life."
Speaking of Khan, when it was established that it was his doing with all of this, Sonya Blade in front of the group says, "If anyone's going to kill Shao Kahn, it's me." To which Raiden says, "Enough," and really just puts her in her place. And now we've got an actual plan.
It's always Liu Kang. It's always Liu Kang.
Literally at one point, Katana goes, "Liu Kang is our only hope."
Yeah, sorry, mate. It's all on you.
Yeah, I do like also in that. I mean, the opening scene's absolutely awful, and but at the end, when Shao Kahn's delivering his monologue, and he's like, "The earth was created in 6 days, so too shall it be destroyed, and on the 7th day mankind will rest in peace."
That's actually not bad from him. From most of his dialogue, it's powerful. It's powerful stuff.
I would have gone for in pieces.
Would you guys agree that Shao Kahn is Vin Diesel light?
Oh, Vin Diesel 0%.
Maybe 1%.
Ooh, what? Just the boldness.
Well, they've both got the same tonal range.
Oh yeah.
He reminded me of that dude that Brad Pitt kills in Troy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the big ogre-looking dude, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have ended up being a short-term WWE wrestler. That guy, Nathan, someone.
Guy from Troy.
Yeah, the dude from Troy.
That's good. The only other thing that I wrote down was what Pat already mentioned, when the Elder Gods turn up and the Water One says, "The fate of the universe will be decided as it should be," and then the Fire God's like, "In Mortal Kombat."
Yeah.
How come Raiden only gets 3 questions? Like there's
Yeah.
quite a big catastrophe there, and they've limited him to quite a short amount of dialogue, to which they were only going to respond with extremely vague answers.
There's probably a queue for people coming into the place, though, so you got to limit the questions. You're there all
Remind
day.
me of Apu when he goes to the OG Quickie Mart in India.
Yes. And Homer asks all his 3 questions.
Is this the real Quickie Mart? Really? Really?
Thank you, come
Yeah.
again.
Very good.
All right, should we get into a draft? I haven't written down
The
who I
draft.
want at all. Jesus, I'm not sure who I do, but all right, you pulling, Paddy?
First and last, be myself. And then we have Bob. Then we have Marty. Please, Stratty. That's actually, you almost want to be last, or you don't want to be first, because then you got to get the real dregs on round 2. But I'll make the most of the first pick with Jax.
Yes.
I just I really got Jax because both me and him throughout this movie were really struggling to understand the plot. He asked like a few times to Sonya, he's like, "You're talking about these conversions and stuff? I don't even know what you're talking about." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's happening either." And I also missed. I looked away, and then he came back, and he didn't have metal arms. Someone explain that to me.
He believed in himself.
He believed in himself, and then his metal arms became arms.
Was it because he was inspired by Raiden becoming mortal?
Probably.
I mean,
But
one of them
Montano
got
broke his arm, so
yeah, and then
they
so
can't use them.
yeah. I mean, let's be honest; they would have been a huge advantage.
Mm. Absolutely, like bringing a gun, maybe.
I'm gonna pick. I get to pick second. This is tough. All the characters I want to pick suck. So there's obvious pick. I'm going to take it. I think I don't want to, but sometimes you've just got to follow your real instincts here. I'll go with Lou. Here's the chosen one.
Oh, boring.
I reckon.
Sorry.
You had to be quick with that because Lou's running out of time.
I'm going to take a little bit of this guy liked to procrastinate a little bit, and he was a bit of a trickster. Nightwolf.
Yeah. Yeah. I like a Nightwolf. Well, for me, I've already talked about him once, but I'm going to have to go with the Cyborg, Cyrax. He was just probably the second best character in my opinion, and that whole thing behind Jax. His cameo that he had that fight scene with, done perfectly, I think.
So you've got the next pick as well, Stratties.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm back to back. Aren't I?
Back at number 5.
The next one, who I remember playing in the game. I can't remember what one she came into, but she was a nightmare to fight, and she had maybe 3 cameos through this. Was Shiva, the lesser of Prince Goro from the first movie. Her dialogue with Montaro was once again horrendous, but so bad that it was good.
I did like their rivalry.
Yeah, like, and just how you think, okay, she was going to fight Liu Kang. Here we go, and then she just gets crushed by the cage that Katana was staying in. I was like, that's not fair. She's such a big
Stomping
character.
on people's her special move.
Yeah, it was kind of funny seeing that. So yeah, Shiva's the next one for me.
Back to you, Marto.
Pick, yeah, I was gonna get Shiva. It's tough because all the ones I was thinking of gone. I'll I think I'll go down the same lines as you, Stratty, around their ability in the game, and it related to what you revealed in the movie. You mentioned it earlier, Paddy, with the fan swords katana. If you were able to actually suss out using the fans in the game, her reach was quite underrated, and obviously not the worst to look at.
Great pick. Great pick. That's fair. Yet.
Stuck.
Yeah, look. There's a few characters I actually did quite enjoy. But I think just the prosthetics, the weird movements, the sort of weird noises they made, I'm going to go with Baraka.
They were terrible, eh?
That was like almost 80s like makeup.
Like they had taken the graphics from Mortal Kombat back in when did that come out? 91.
Yeah.
And just gone, oh yep, that's what you'll look like, and that's what.
Well, I was thinking about Baraka in particular because the graphics for those games, those are live capture people in costumes, right? The only one that's not is Goro, that's stop motion models. So everyone else is like a person where they just took a photo of like each movement. And so for Baraka, it was obviously a dude with a mask on. And I'm like, he looks better in the 91 game than he does in this movie.
100%.
They should have pixelated him in the movie.
It was horrendous. It was like another iconic character of the Mortal Kombat series, and you've come up with that abomination of a costume. Yeah, not good.
Paddy, you're up.
I've got a bit of a toss up here. I think I'm going to disappoint people by not taking Shao Kahn when, because he does the classic elongated forehead thing. Kind of looks like when you win solitaire. I'm going to go Sonya Blade for her amazing ability to start and end any fight scene with her hair in the exact same position.
Even after her mud wrestle.
Yeah, with Melina.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Melina. It's the wasted character.
Yeah.
Oh, good draft. Good draft. A few surprises, not too many. But you know what time it is for boys? It's time for an ad.
Doing my accounts really gets me down. There's nothing worse that brings me down than doing my accounts. That was until I found Accountants Plus.
That's excellent. Stratties, you need to ditch Zero and get to Accountants Plus.
Accountants Plus sounds like the place I should be going for all my accounting needs.
I'm glad that you cut me off there, Sean. I feel like I was going in a bad direction there. I think I was heading towards it was my cousin's fault.
We're going to ask Sam to cut this out, or are we going to cut this? Or
thanks very much, Accountants Plus.
Yeah, we'll come. Yeah, well, I don't know what we'll do with that. All right, let's. You know what time it really is for then? God damn right, it's time for some Tracy trivia. Today's Tracy trivia is brought to you by Dick Tracy. Just a little bit of financial chat for you. Mortal Kombat 95, the one that most people actually remember fondly, was made on a budget of $20 million and made $122 million. Now, for what it's worth, the average estimate of the actual budget of a film is whatever it costs to make you double for marketing. So if Mortal Kombat 95 cost $40 million, then it made $80 million. So that's a big return from what you've invested. That's great. Annihilation was made on a budget of $30 million. I'm assuming that extra $10 million was for the Power Rangers Dragon fight, and it made $51 million. So that's a loss.
That's a flop.
And leads to the next piece of trivia, which is quite interesting. A third Mortal Kombat film was developed called Mortal Kombat Devastation. Christopher Lambert was back as Raiden. Lyndon Ashby was back as Johnny Cage and was going to be resurrected. They'd cast Adoni Maripus, who I'm sorry if I've said that wrong, for Quan Chi. Robin Shu was back as Liu Kang. The original Scorpion was back. Keith Cook was back as Sub-Zero. And Jax from this movie was back. And Talisa Soto, who played Katana, was in talks, and Sandra Hess, who is the replacement for Sonya, was in talks. And they'd actually built the sets and were ready to commence filming before. I want to get this right. It was one of the massive hurricanes that hit the States. Was sort of been like
Sandy or one of them ones.
I think Katrina. Was that?
It was 6, wasn't it?
I feel bad for not remembering this or writing it down. It might come up again, but yeah. So it destroyed all the sets, and so they just put a pin in it. Lyndon Ashby turned down Johnny Cage because he only had 5 minutes of screen time. The creators of Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon and John Tobias, hated the film so much that they considered it the worst experience of their lives working on anything Mortal Kombat related.
Damn.
I just had the wiki up and I realised that that person, Ed Boon, so they were one of the creators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're the voice of Scorpion in this.
Yeah, because Ed Boon did a lot of the voice acting for the games.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So they kept him on. So Michael Jai White, who came up earlier in a conversation, was supposed to play Jax, but had to pull out because he got the lead role in Spawn. And then later played Jax in Mortal Kombat Rebirth and Mortal Kombat Legacy, which was, I think that was YouTube serials almost. What else is interesting? Cabal and Stryker get a mention, but they're not in it. Apparently they were in the script, but it got written out. They were going to hang out. Katana was going to rescue them from the slave pens or whatever. It was Hurricane Katrina. There it is. I did have my notes. What else? Veronica Vaughn turned it down so that she could be in I Know What You Did Last Summer. There was going to be a end scene or maybe even a post-credit scene where Quan Chi appeared to set the scene for the Game Is On sequel. In the original script, Nightwolf was going to be wearing a Stone Temple Pilots t-shirt and a pair of Oakley sunglasses before they decided to make him not look like a drug dealer.
That's disappointing. They didn't do that. That would have been great.
Yeah. So the actor who played Motaro, Darren McBee, and the actor who played Jax, who we've talked about a lot, his name is Lynn Red Williams, are both former American gladiators.
Hey, very good. It comes all back.
Does it have their gladiator names there, Bob?
I'll find them out for you, mate. That's worth knowing.
Blaze or something weird like
that. Let's see.
Blazer. Gyro.
I was just thinking, Bob, that they budget of 30 million and they made 51, but excludes marketing. Like there could have been one thing they could have done to turn that into a generous profit.
What's that, mate?
Employed the services of Accountants Plus.
Yes, of course.
Not zero.
We got one. Is that a better one?
Yeah, it was way better.
Leave that one in.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank God. So who have I just... So Darren McBee, who is... let's see, which one was he? Oh, he was Motaro. His American gladiator name was Malibu.
Oh.
Malibu.
Long blonde hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I've just watched that series on them. That guy seemed pretty fucking funny, to be honest. He had the name Malibu, and they made him be like this like surfer guy, but he was a massive unit. He's like, I've never been on a surfboard in my entire life.
And Lynn Red Williams. Why do you reckon they call him Red?
Because maybe he's Irish.
Yes. His name was Saber.
Saber.
Oh yeah.
The guy Chris Casamassa, who played Scorpion in the first film, turned this down so he could be a stunt double for Batman and Robin.
Ooh.
Probably got paid more.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah. Well, it depends how much they spent on those dragons.
What's a better movie, this or Batman and Robin? He took the right job, but this is a race to the bottom, isn't it?
That's shit. You know, like what would I actually? Yeah,
that was horrendous too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Everybody chill.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, both offer. To be fair, Batman and Robin offers a very good comedic experience. Nice to see you.
I laughed watching this.
That's fair. Dana He, who plays Melina, was Katana's stunt double in the first movie. That makes sense. That's well played. This is quite disappointing. I can't. I'm not good at pronouncing Asian names, so I'm pretty. But is it Toy Trang? Is that how you say her name? She was the Yellow Ranger. What? Toy Trang, the Yellow Ranger from Power Rangers, got turned down for Jade. That's a muzz. That's probably the most interesting ones, I think. Here's a good one, actually. If adding up all back flips, front flips, and side flips together, there are a total of 54 flips in the film.
Great fact.
About half of the amount there is in one episode of Power Rangers.
Yep.
That'll do. There's the rest of these are pretty weird and obscure, and
that's very good.
Oh no, this is worth knowing. The song playing while Katana and Liu Kang are traveling through the tunnels is titled "Anomaly, Calling Your Name," performed by Libra Presence Taylor. Also, the song Jim Levenstein strips to in American Pie.
Wow.
Oh, and finally, chosen by WatchMojo.com as the worst film of the 90s.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Any final thoughts?
I think this movie is absolutely aptly named as this movie was an annihilation of every single one of the senses that you have. It was a brutal piece of cinema. There was a horror return as far as expectations and memories from watching in the years. This was a tough watch. There were moments of, I guess, satisfaction with nostalgia. Overall, a rubbish movie.
Pat, final thoughts from someone who hasn't seen it before?
It wasn't any better watching it for the first time. There's a pretty apt description from Marty. It was a horrendous watch, but kind of little bits of this is so bad it's good type of stuff. And look, there's some pretty good action in here. You give it some props. Obviously the CGI works really good, but
where would you rank this with the other films that we've watched for this podcast?
I'm like with someone that sort of enjoys watching almost anything. I don't think this is. I've probably found this easier to watch than rewatching Dick Tracy at times. And I thought I really liked Dick Tracy, but on rewatch it was tough going. It's definitely not as bad as some of the slogs we had through those X-Men episodes.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a few contributing factors to that because that was arduous at times.
Yeah.
Stratties, final thoughts? Your special request?
Like the other two, agree 100%. An horrendous movie. But there were parts that I did really enjoy, which I've already touched on and won't touch on again. But it was good to talk with some other people who've watched it and have some same thoughts about some really bad acting, some really bad CGI or good CGI for 97. But it is what it is. It's part of history now.
I know money's a big factor in these things, but I mean, I know it's a completely different movie as well, but the CGI could definitely have been better with more money because, you know, this came out, around the same time as Titanic? I know that movie would have had, like, probably $100 million budget, but that movie just looks real.
But that movie also has Leo and stuff like that. This is $30 million with actors that they probably paid at the most $100,000 or something. Like, it's not a small budget. Like, someone needs to go through the books here. Again, it almost doesn't make sense.
The two biggest actors from the first movie don't return, right? Christopher Lambert and I can't remember his name. The guy who plays Shang Tsung.
Oh yeah.
You know, they were both well known. Certainly, Christopher Lambert had done Highlander and a few other things. I tried to look up Mortal Kombat and it came up with a new one. The first thing I saw was Lewis Tan and I got fucked off. Alright, well, a couple of options for you guys if you do want to return to this franchise. Obviously, we have to stick to the 90s. We could have a bit of a playthrough and talk about that. We could watch... there's not many episodes, but there is a one season of a cartoon called Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, which I'd be quite happy to dive into if it's available in any kind of media. So we'll ponder that. You know what? If you want us to, let us know, and we'll probably do it. Stratties beat us into submission for this one. So, but yeah, all other things, the socials, hit us up at WIWT90S. We're on Insta. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on... is it called Trend or Trends? We're on there. The new Twitter. Meta's Twitter. So we can watch Musk and Zuckerberg fight it out for social media supremacy and get them in the ring.
Yeah,
I'd like to see their fatalities.
I want to see them anamorph.
Surely,
what's the animal thing?
Animality. Come on.
Animality.
I reckon Musk could be a cyborg with the SpaceX rocket coming out of his guts.
Yeah, and if sometimes it doesn't work because he needs to charge.
Yeah.
And Zuckerberg looks like he'd turn into a rat. We're also on TikTok and some other things, but more importantly, rate and review, and the review system is really interesting. You can say whatever the hell you want, mug us off if you want. That's absolutely fine. But 5 stars, that's what we care about. And in fact, if you give us a 5 stars and you say something, we might even read it out one day if we work out how to access those. Until next time, dear listeners, this is the podcast signing out. We'll probably return to this franchise in a year when we've built up some more resilience.
Go, Keith.
Up the wires.